Today on Tease Time, I'm going to do a walkthrough of my off-grid electronic setup that I have here. This is I owe you a better job for the previous video I did where I was pulling wires. I had the head mount and it was on a time lapse where I didn't think the quality was up to par. So here goes better. What's up, everyone? I hope life is treating you well. Welcome back to Tease Time. I'm TJ. If this is your first time checking me out, I build things. Tinker, create, build, repeat. That's what I do. But I just wanted to do a walkthrough. We'll start from let's start from an entry point of electricity. We're gonna start on the shore side, and I'm gonna do like a walkthrough of my electronics that I have so far. So things are up and running. There's still some finishing touches that I need to do. But for the majority of like the hard stuff, you can probably hear the humming in the background. That's actually running right now off of just the batteries. But let's get going. Alright, and this is our 50 amp. We went from the 30 amp to the 50 amp. The difference between the two, on the 30 amp there's one power entry going in, which is your black cable. On this, on a 50 amp, your powers going in are red and black. So this just keeps us open for future upgrades if need be. But this is our cord that comes in to our surge card, and this is for a 50 amp shore power. Model number is 35550. There's a nice feature on this. It has a delay, so like if there's any issues with the power coming in, if the shore side is wired incorrectly, this will block it from damaging any of our other electronics. But from this point, we go with the cord all the way around, down, up through this pillar to the ceiling right here, and we're gonna follow this. We're just gonna connect our dots. It goes around, goes around, goes around, goes around, and then goes up through our entry point, which is back here. Most of our wires enter through here, and then from there, on this side, as you can see, we're following the cord, which comes all the way down, and it enters into here. And this is a 30 amp setup. Your green is your ground, your black is your power, your white is your neutral, and this is the additional power cord on the 50 amp side that we don't use, which is why I have it taped off. If you're using like a 50 amp setup, this would be connected, but just for safety, make sure you tape these off if you're not using them. And I did it on both sides, going in and out, even though I didn't need to tape off this side because it doesn't make power through. But we have our 30 amp that comes in, and then it goes all the way out, and this is our fuse panel here, which is in control of all of our outlets. I have my block warmer on here. I have another battery charger for the chassis or the starting batteries themselves, so that way I can even charge off of the solar. I can charge that also, so everything gets charged. But it goes from here and then it branches out to all our outlets. I'll show you some. We have future outlets here. We have future outlets here. This would be our entertainment area, surround, for the TV right here, for our space heater right here. And then we have one that'll be like for the sink. I plan on having a sink here, so this is another outlet. And then inside our cabinets, which I'm eventually going to build right here, there's going to be another set of outlets inside. So all this does is just protect for like if anything short circuits or anything like that, which it shouldn't, because for all the cables that I have going through the walls, I use these grommets right here where it goes through all the aluminum reinforcement, so that way it doesn't chafe. So all that stuff is safe, secure, is good. And then from here, this is pretty much it from here. It branches out, but with the powers coming in from our 50 amp shore, this is also a pool spa 50 amp breaker. You know, so you have our surge protector, which protects, and then we also have this, which protects. This is off right now because I'm just using the batteries. I want to get the battery drained down a little bit. I'm gonna also, if you watch to the end of this video, I'm going to change the charge algorithms for the lithium batteries because they don't need to stay at a full charge. So yeah, we have that coming also. But for another entry point of electricity, we have our solar panels on the roof. So our solar panels, they come in through here. This is our junction box right here. So each individual solar panel that I have on the roof has its own breaker. So that way, if I need to diagnose any issues with the solar, I could do it one by one. So this one is the left front, left middle, left rear, right front, right middle, right rear. I think I have another video. I'm gonna double check on that, but I believe that's what it is. I need to go through and make sure that that's what it is. But our power will come in through here, and then it goes straight to our MPPT 150 100TR. So it goes from here, in here, gets converted to our 12 volts, which it drops down into our batteries, and this charges our batteries like so. And then also all this craziness you see here, this is for a breaker right here. This is for our solar charge controller, and this is for my lift gate in the back. And down here, this is a bus bar which controls or counts the amps coming and going into the battery bank itself, which gets monitored on the color controller over there by Victron, and that's our battery monitor system also. So when all the power comes in and I need juice, this is when the inverter comes in. If I'm using the 120, if I'm using the outlets, the juice gets sent through these monsters of T-fuses to our shutoffs, and then back up to our inverter here. And then from the inverter, that's where it converts all of the electricity from the 12 volt to the 120 to control all of this stuff. So we have power from there, from our shore side. We have power from our solar right here. And then we also, there's power that also comes in from the alternator. So while I'm driving down the road, if I need, well, I don't know if I'll actually need it, but like, rather be safe than sorry, I have power that also comes from the alternator. So to do that, I have a lithium, show you, we're back out here. Down here, this is our battery isolator right there, the green you see. Right there. So this is our battery isolator. So this side right here, this is for my lithium batteries, and this is for the starter battery right here. So what this does is, on this side right here, this is alternator, is charging this side. So in order for us to take this alternator side and charge our lithiums, it changes the rate. So like it monitors your voltage. So if it's over 13.4 volts, it will disconnect, and it does this every 20 minutes. It checks. So then if it sees that the voltage is lower, it'll charge for 15, and it continues that process of checking the voltage. So that way, like if it's over 13.4, you don't need it, or if your alternator voltage is below 14.4 or above 14.4, protects it. And also, like if it's below 13 and change, it'll disconnect also, because like if the alternator can't keep up with just charging even just the starter batteries, it doesn't need that. And this right here is what I use to charge my starter battery. So in the fuse panel, I have this connected right here into the fuse panel, so it charges our starter battery. So and then a plus with this isolator, which is pretty cool. So you have your ground right here, you have your ignition, so when you turn your ignition on, that ranks that. And this is a big plus right here. This is a cool feature right here. This right here is a trigger, so that way, let's say our starter battery is dead. So if our starter battery is dead, which is pretty cool, well, it wouldn't be cool if it was dead, but you come up through here, and I installed this switch right here where this monitors the volts on the auxiliary side. Those are the lithium, and these are your starter battery right here. So right now, we're low right there, but actually let me give you an example. I'm going to turn this on. This is off at the shore power. I already turned it on because there's a delay with the surge guard. So I turn that on. We're going to switch over some juice. you heard that click, that is just switched over. The switch rate is so fast that the lights or anything didn't dim. So this is our grid side. This is the shoreline that's coming in, which was off before that I just turned on. So what it does, I don't know if you could actually make sure you can see that. Okay, should get that angle so you can see. So this is our shore side right here, and it traces the way the power is flowing. So the shore, there's enough juice coming in, which is charging the batteries right here, and it's also taking the power and sending it to the loads going through the outlets, the light outlets that are 120 volt. So it's able to do both of that. So this icon right here, which has 0 because we're indoors, this is our solar panels right here. So when I'm outside, usually this is enough to maintain and do the same thing the grid is doing without the grid. So just imagine if that was the solar, it's doing the same exact thing right there. And let's see what our voltage is. I want to see if I can show you exactly how that battery isolator like works. So we're there, and then actually let's go back inside. This is our battery charger for our starter charger. We're gonna turn that off. Hopefully that drops the voltage a little bit. So auxiliary 13.2. 13.2, I can't really show you. It's matching, which is sad, but like you would just you would hit this button, you heard that click, that's connecting both sides. So that way, like if this battery was dead, I would just hit this button. If this side was charged, the auxiliary side was charged, it actually connects the two, so I could start the motor off of the lithium batteries, which is pretty cool. So that line runs all the way through down here, and my ignition goes to the ignition, a 12 volt. That's I have it fused. It doesn't need to be fused on that, but like the switch, this needs to be fused. So I use a 5 amp that goes back to the 12 volt supply, which we're going to go to right now. Just connecting the dots. All right, so this right here, this is our 12 volt branch where I have everything fused off. This, our isolator right here, that switch that I just pressed, that's the 3 amp fuse I have going through there. That's supposed to be fused. And then all these other wires you see branching off here, they control everything from, I have my my water pump, I have the hot water heater, and then also I have heating pads for the storage tanks. I have to reorder because I ordered the wrong size, but I have these heating pads that keep the water from freezing. So it keeps the water from freezing in the tanks, and I also have a bunch of mini ones that go across the lines going in. So if you're in colder climates, which I'm in cold climates right now, it's about like 9 degrees outside. That's why I'm doing this walkthrough, because it's inside, it's warm. But we also have, is our hot water heater. We have, actually let me just read the list, make it a little easier. Let's start here. So we have our water pump, which is right there, it's not plugged in, it's not hooked up. We have our water, our hot water heater, like the water heater, the propane heater, that's right there. We have our heating pads right there that go there. And then we have overhead fans right there, those Max Airs that we installed earlier. And then we have our overhead lights, our isolator, oven fan, oven lights, and then our sea level. The sea level, this is what I have right here, our sea level. This monitors our tank level. So I do have a propane tank that I already installed. I still need to fill that. But when I get that situated, this is what I have for our tank monitor. So like you also could do battery. I don't really need that when I have the color controller over there. But our fresh tank or gray tank, I'm not using a black tank. I'm thinking I'm going with the compost, so I won't use that. And this is our propane tank. So this is our on and off for our hot water heater. And this is for our water pump. So I could turn it on and off. Like with this, the pump, you probably want to keep that off if you're not inside, in case like you do spring a leak. You don't want to fill the inside of your cab with water. So this is pretty nice. This will mount, eventually, there will be a wall here. So that will go there alongside with our hot water heater. We could control the temperature, thermostat for our hot water for our shower, eventual sink out faucets. So we got that, and then our water tank I'm going to mount on this pillar right here somewhere. That's where I'm going to mount that pillar. But like for all those wires that I just ran off for our hot water heater, our tank pads, water pump, all that stuff will be coming through here along the ceiling. And of course they're all red, so you definitely need some labels on it because you want to know which is which. So I make sure I labeled all of that stuff. And then you know, for our solar, this is our entry point right here for our solar panels. For our light controller box, it's going to sit inside the cabinet right here somewhere. And these cables that you see dangling here, these are for exhaust fans, because for all of this stuff, especially this thing right here, the solar charge controller, when it's charging, it produces so much heat. It gets probably like too hot, where like it's too hot to touch. So I do have like an aluminum plate I'm going to stick behind it also. But like inside the cabinet, I'm going to make sure I control the heat. So I do have fans. I'm going to install like a fan under the cabinet here. So it sucks air in. And it'll pass through all of this. And this is our hottest piece. So it should be the last piece. You know, so that way these get all the cool air. Because you don't want to be blowing hot air across all this stuff that normally stays cooler than this. And then there's going to be an exhaust fan to blow all that heat out. And then for those, I'm using this is what I have for my fan controllers eventually. AC Infinity. It's multi-zoned. So there's thermostat sensors. There's 4. So I have 4 zones I'm going to have, and then each one's going to have a couple fans. Put that back. So that will mount on the opposite end of the cabinet when that gets built, which is pretty cool. Is like the thermostats. So this right here, these are thermostats where I had to ran because there's going to be another set going through the ceiling that comes out here, and this is a thermostat probe right here, and this is for our surround, our electronics that I'll have like up here. Just they're smaller fans than what I have for on that side. Those fans on that side are big, but this also have a fan. It's going to suck up, and I'm thinking to have it blow out that way, like in the closet area. That's what I'm still kind of deciding what I'm going to do with that. And then all these cables that you see here, these are for the speakers for the surround, audio input, HDMIs, all that great stuff. But like I'm gonna have speakers at each corner right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, a center speaker, and then a subwoofer will sit right there. So that's pretty cool. But these USBs, this is what the fans plug into, and they link off of each other. So I have 2 fans on each one. So there's a probe here for one, suck in the air, blow out the air. There's going to be a probe on this side because the bench will be here, so this is going to be blocked off. So there'll be a probe in here, which is going to control like a set of fans, and there's going to be a probe over here for the batteries. So I plan on having a fan blow the air in, come around, blow it out, and then have a fan blowing in and then blowing out, probably like somewhere around here. I have to figure that out, so that way it kind of all links together. They'll be at the same temperature, so that'll share like exhaust, a big exhaust right there. So probe, 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 probe. So that will control our temperature on all of these electronics. Like, this is my main concern with this thing. Like, I've had all this stuff running, like this gets the hottest. I'm the most concerned about the solar charge controller, like heat. Like, this box is gonna be the main concern. So we have these these fans. This is our controller for the fans. And here's the monster fan right there. So we're gonna use these. And they're AC Infinity, if you're interested in looking that up to kind of see if that's something you want to do. It's they're mainly for like home entertainment systems, but like you said, electronics, even if you have like computer software rooms and stuff like that, you need something to control the temperature. Those seem like they'll be pretty cool. So I'm excited to get to that point eventually. I just want to make sure for the wiring, and as you saw for like the LEDs, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 of those. I have those going in whoa, about to fall over here. We have those in parallel. The difference between a parallel and a series, if you put all these in series, you would see the lights, they would dim as they go, but like if they're in parallel, they all grab the same amount of energy, they all have the same amount of light, even though it's a longer run. That's what you want to make sure. If you're running wires for your lights, do not put them into a series, make them parallel. So that way, like if one bulb blows or anything like that, it's not going to just disconnect the whole circuit, you know. So just take that into consideration. And this is going to be our wiring for our exhaust fan, which I already drilled the holes previously. How you like my little janky little cuts right here. Tip of the day: measure twice, cut once. As you can see here, I screwed up. I make mistakes, but the good thing about this mistake is it'll be covered when the exhaust fan is here in the cabinets, because those will sit like down in here, so you won't see this at all. So I didn't waste it. I just, you know, made it work. But this is our 12 volt for our exhaust fan. There'll be a light, and this is our 12 volt for our oven light when I install that eventually, countertops and stuff. But yeah, for our electronics, that's pretty much about everything. We have a diesel heater that was already with the van when I got it. I just had to connect the wires, you know, positive, negative. That's the only thing I had to worry about. So like nothing crazy. And is that everything? Our batteries, 200 amp hours each, 2000 amp hours here. So I'm using, like, I have pretty much five battery banks. So I'm using these two are linked together, 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 and these two are linked together. Then I have them all connected on these bus bars over here. So in my mind, that seems like it should work in case, like, if there's any internal shortage on any of the batteries, instead of it kind of screwing up all of them. You know, like, I don't know, in my head it seems like it's a good idea, so I'm gonna run with it. It seems to be working out all right. Like, I've been kind of just keeping track of, like, the drainage and the heat, you know, on the batteries. They seem to be pretty even, you know. And right now, the grid's still pumping, it's charging. And I wanted to change the charge algorithms because it is winter, it is cold. The videos and stuff, they might start getting a little delayed just because I have to base off of like the weather right now, like the snow, the cold, all that stuff is a contribute to when I get to work on the van. So I have to take all that into consideration. So right now I'm going to change the charge algorithms in both the solar charge controller and our was it 12 volt 3000 watt inverter here, our multi-plus. I'm going to change the charge algorithm so that way the batteries are not sitting at full charge all the time. For lithium, it's best for them not to stay fully charged or like super low, like a nice little balance. So I'm going to have it set where it's about like 60, 80-ish%, somewhere in there. That's where I'm going to set these batteries for now. Like for lead acid, you can keep those topped off. They like that. That's their thing. But for the lithium, I'm about to change that right now. So, and bada boom, bada bang. All right, so we're all set with that. We're done. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you. You guys are very patient. I appreciate that. But if I'm gonna just give you guys the tidbit, if you made it this far, you're actually paying attention to these videos. We're caught up. The logo sweatshirts are available on the website. If you're interested, check it out. teestime.com. 3 E's. Enter your guess for the giveaway of this guy right here. He's waiting for a good home. He's tired of being on little Orphan Annie action over there. So guess your number, how many videos it took to get caught up. And we're here. We made it. We're going to keep on going. As I said before, it's a little nippy outside. Everything is depending on the weather at the moment. If it's too cold, if it's snowing, stuff like that, different variables. But I would like to try to get a video out at least every week. We'll try for that. But until the next one, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. And also, wait, there's more. I know Valentine's Day is coming. Make sure you're not getting no crumbs. I don't know if you could check that. See that? That's also available. But until the next one, I see you. Peace. TJ.